Hey there, Danielle Matthews here. I'm coming to you live from Florida. Today is Monday, which means it's book club day, and we are in the midst of The Yoga of Relationships, which is a powerful book about how to get the most out of our relationships. And it starts, of course, with the relationship with ourselves. And this chapter, it's a good one. It's all about forgiveness. I think it's interesting because when most of us think about forgiveness, we probably believe, oh, we need to forgive another. It's something that we do inside of ourselves. We set this person free. But I would kind of put out there that it doesn't always solve the problem. And even if we forgive people, sometimes there's still some lingering stuff inside of us. And he puts a different lens, a different perspective on the concept of forgiveness and really what you need to be doing. So if you are joining me live, let me know when you arrive here. It is always fun to know who's here with me live and to have this conversation with you. And hey Tina, hey Charlotte, hey Karen. If you are on the replay, let me know you're catching the replay. So we're going to jump right in. He kind of redefines forgiveness here, and he talks about it as not really releasing another from like within yourself, releasing them from whatever, like you were upset with them, they did something, they offended you, whatever. But really it's about realizing our own role in the situation and using it to help us grow. Now, this might sound a little strange, okay? But understand this. When you've fully accepted another exactly as they are, doing exactly as they've done, you've also had to fully accept you, because life is an equation, right? External world plus your internal response is your reality. So when you, external world, right, this other person, when you fully accepted them, so think about, let's make this relevant. Think about the person that you wanted to during this book, right? We talked about, hey, think of a relationship that's not working right now. So think of that relationship, think of an argument you've recently had, think of a something that they did in the past, maybe something that you've thought you've forgiven them for, but maybe it's still lingering, whatever. Think about that. That's what I want you to think about. And now understand that's the external world. So what he's saying is when you can fully accept them, when you say, hey, this person did this thing. I don't agree with it. I don't condone it. I don't think they should have. None of that. Just they did this. Everything happened in their life in a way that they acted in this way in this moment. Period. End of sentence. That's just acceptance. All right. Now you have your internal response. Now you can look at and go, okay, well, if I fully accept them as they are, now let me fully accept me and understand me as I am. Well, I took this situation personally because I received it in this way, and this is what was actually within me. Because it's so easy to point the finger at other people and say, well, you did this thing and you made me feel this way, it's your fault. Right? He gives the example at the end of the book, and maybe I'll just use that as at the end of the chapter, I'll just use that as the example throughout. There's a woman who was with a man, had a relationship, and realized it just wasn't working out. And so split off with him, but decided, hey, we want to be friends. And that was going fine until he started dating someone else. And then all of a sudden, she had all of these feelings, right? And it's not about forgiving him, right? You don't need to forgive him. What she needed to realize was he was just doing him, right? This relationship was over. He saw a new one. He moved into it. It wasn't for this woman. It wasn't against this woman. It had nothing to do with this woman. But this woman was taking it personally. Like this somehow negated the whole relationship we had. She felt whatever, unseen, unloved, unworthy, abandoned, whatever. It hit up against in her, right? And so what Guru Dev is saying, what Amar Desai is saying in this is forgiveness is, it's not about, oh, well, I got offended because he did this thing and now I'm going to forgive him. No, he didn't do anything that requires forgiving. You need to just accept that this is the way that it is and then look at inside of you and figure out what's going on inside of me. You know, why am I reacting this way? Hola, Jenny. So he says, when you can fully accept others just as they are, then you open the door to being able to fully accept you, because you become aware of the role you're playing in the situation, the way that you're creating your own reality. All right. Does this make sense? Put a 1 in the chat if this is making sense, because It's different. What he says is, once you realize that everyone is just coming to the table, right, with their own past kind of blurring them, right? Maybe he decided to get in this relationship because he doesn't like to be alone. He felt abandoned by this lady, so now he's going to go be with this lady, right? He wasn't doing it for or against. It was just his own life, right? So he acted that way. And she had her reaction to it. And so once you see that all of those are not the truth of who you are, they're reactions, there's past stuff there, you're the witness to it all. Then it all becomes like the illusion disappears. It's like you realize we're just actors in a movie and I'm the actor. So like, I don't need to get so upset with the ups and downs of the movie, right? I can just enjoy them as they come, but I'm more than them. And so therefore forgiveness becomes irrelevant. Because once you realize the illusion and that this is all just your past and it's all just triggers and the moment is actually bringing them to your attention to clear them, to transmute them, you realize there's nothing to forgive. There's literally nothing to forgive. Ever. Because whatever unfolded was what exactly was needed for you to see what was inside of you that got triggered. Whatever reaction you were having. That's why it happened. And so now you should be grateful. You don't need to forgive, express gratitude, right? Because they showed you what was in you that was unhealed, unfinished, that needed to be removed. I'm glad you all are following along. I'm glad to see all the ones in the chat because this is different. Most people talk about forgiveness and you need to forgive. No, this is radically different. This says, no, like, that's silly. That's still engaging in the game of the ego. No, you need to pull back to see the truth, and the whole thing is an illusion. So there's nothing to forgive once you understand. All right? Uh-oh. Is my internet being funny? If internet gets funny here on Facebook, it's working over on Instagram. Go figure. I don't know. I can't figure these things out. But if there is an issue, just know you can always pop over there. All right. I'm going to keep rolling because I think we're back. Okay. The next page, he talks about this. He says, when we struggle with issues regarding feelings of being wronged by others, we must remember that these thoughts are often unsubstantiated conceptualizations. They are a constructed image of reality, reflecting our individual subjectivity, right? That inner lens we have. Let go of illusory concepts and focus on direct experience of the here and now, and the perception changes. Allow the mind to relax and to witness consciousness, and emotional tension between two lovers loses its charge. Because once you realize, oh yeah, this is just a movie, I'm acting, I'm the witness to all of this, the intensity dissolves. And you go, what is this revealing, right? And he says, be careful. Who else loved this analogy? He said, engaging in intimate relationships can breed contempt. It's kind of like a mountain range that appears so beautiful. And you're like, oh, the mountains are beautiful, right? In the distance. But once you start to climb those same mountains, all of a sudden you see that there are rocks and crevices and dangerous cliffs. And it's the same in relationships. Once you embark on one, once you start to climb, right, all of a sudden you see that, hey, there's challenges here embedded in it. Yes, it's beautiful, but the reality up close is it's all of your darkest junk is going to get triggered. Exactly, Luke. It's all about triggers. All right? So it's all about realizing then that there is nothing to forgive. He says, because material existence cannot always be blissful, developing higher consciousness is the surest way to reduce pain and remain in equanimity in all situations. Life is always going to happen. The external world is always going to unfold in ways that are probably not to your liking, right? You're going to get triggered. And he says the only way then to have less pain is to develop higher consciousness. It's to realize I can witness all of this. I am not my own reactions. All right? He says resistance to suffering only increases pain. Human suffering is amplified because we analyze it, we assign blame, and we attempt to impose our will upon it. Pain recedes when we embrace reality, moving beyond likes and dislikes, realizing there is nothing to forgive. He says it all gets much easier when you pull back the perspective, when you can dispassionately watch like it's a movie. You're still engaged in life, but your internal stress is much less because you're not taking it so darn seriously. You're seeing it for what it is and what it's not. All right? Every moment that we react is revealing what's within us. It's just a moment, but we personalize it. And what he's saying is we make it worse because we think in our minds. And we assign blame, and we then try to change people and all this stuff that we try to do, and we manipulate the relationship, and it's like, good Lord, stop. Okay? Just stop. If you start to mentalize things, he kind of pointed out, Patanjali pointed out, it was like listed over here, judgments, errors, conceptualizations, memories. If you're in that, you're in your mind, you're in ego, you're out of it. And so to kind of pull yourself out, ask like the question, well, who am I? Who is having this opinion? Who is having this reaction? Right? And that'll pull you out to remember, I'm not this. Who or what is aware of my body and my thoughts? What is that presence that's there before, during, and after the thought? Right? These are all questions you can ask to pull yourself back, pull yourself back, pull yourself back. Why am I choosing to focus on these fears, opinions, desires, and repulsions? Good question. Why am I choosing to make myself miserable? Like, let it go. You can follow yourself down the rabbit hole of despair and fear, or you can just let it go. And it's way better to just let it go. Okay? Once you see this in yourself, which all of you here are and have been and are doing great, then you start to see it in other people. And this is when you start to realize there's nothing to forgive. They are being controlled by things and reacting from their past, from their own emotional landmines that are going off. There's nothing to forgive. Just keep realizing. And when you're in that space, you can interact with other people from a non-emotionally charged space, and a lot more gets done. Okay? So he says, we're on page 70. Once we see that, we realize people's thoughts have little or nothing to do with us. Thoughts simply reflect the shifting internal state of the thinker. I always say, don't take things personally. What people say reveals more to you about them than it does about you. Because they are showing you how they interpret you, how they see the world, how they see things. It has nothing to do with you. It's through their lens. He says, thoughts simply reflect the shifting internal states of the thinker. The mental or emotional constructs that they choose to energize with their attention, it's whatever they're putting energy into. When we let go of our tendency to assign blame or shame, then we feel completely free, regardless of who says what. This is true freedom. There's nothing to forgive. Just let it go. See what it is. Recognize that no one can hurt us unless we elect to take it personally. External world plus your internal response is your reality. Your internal response is to decide to magically take things and make them personal or not. It's amazing to witness. Watch yourself do it. When someone challenges your political views, watch yourself take it personally. It's amazing. It is just amazing to watch how emotional people get. What's happening in politics is so far removed from you, right? It's just it's laughable that you take it so personally. Step back, make space. The same in your relationships. Watch yourself. You're making it personal. They didn't do the dishes. They were late. They did this, that, whatever. Watch how you're taking it personally. They did this to slight me. They did this because they don't love me. Blah, 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 blah. No. Maybe they were on the phone talking to their mom and they got caught up, right? That's great. Why would you be upset about that? Stop taking stuff personally. You and you alone have the ability to take it personally or to not take it personally. What internal response are you going to have? Bring conscious awareness to the one you're currently having and decide if that is beneficial or not. If that's the way you want to experience reality or not. You choose. You choose. Nothing to forgive. It's just light of awareness. Gets rid of it all. All right. I highlighted a couple. That's the concept of the whole chapter. I mean, you got it. So I highlighted a couple of sentences because I just thought the way he writes sometimes, it's one sentence. You're like, wait, don't move on from that. You just put so much into one sentence. And it just gets kind of dropped in there. And so he says, the first one that I wanted to draw out was, we project our own unmet emotional needs and desires onto those we love. So relationships become interesting because now all of a sudden we're projecting onto this other person our emotional needs and desires. We want them to love us, to do the hard work for us, of loving the parts of ourselves that we don't even want to love, right? We want them to do it for us. It's a recipe for disaster, okay? And so watch what you're doing. If you're in a relationship, it's the best, right? Your friends, your family, they are better than therapy because they are showing you where you need to work and what unconscious things are running your life. It is refreshing, okay? The next thing he talks about are the veils. He says people's thoughts are constantly changing, coloring their perception, stimulating emotions, and generating endless subjective responses. Think about your own mind, how many times it's running or how you misperceive things, and then that's happening with the other people, you know? And so just keep reminding yourself that. Stop taking it personally, right? I know I coach and train a lot of people in sales, and it's amazing to me that people take things so personally. When someone has an objection or whatever it is, I'm like, this isn't about you. It has nothing to do with you. That person is showing you the glasses they're wearing and how they're seeing the situation. Stop taking it personal. The way they see you isn't actually you. They have a filter. They have a veil. He calls it the Maya, veils of Maya. This is the stuff that's in the way. Okay? He also says, we fear the emotional consequences when others change their minds about us. But that's our problem as well. So people are always changing. And on some level, we're worried about if someone's going to change the way they think about us. It's ridiculous because it doesn't matter. What someone thinks about you has no validity to who you are, the truth of who you are. Okay? But we fear that. He says, the other thing that I wanted to highlight, he says, when we forgive them, we give them an opportunity to be who they are. Because everyone is constantly changing, we cannot hold onto fixed beliefs. I don't know if any of you guys follow Sadhguru. He's on Instagram and he's like really renowned around the world. And he always says, I have people that have worked with me for decades, and every morning I greet them as if they are a stranger because everyone does so much inner development and shifting and working. He greets them as a stranger, meaning not like, oh, I don't know you, but like with a clean slate, not bringing anything from any of the interactions he's had in the past, making no assumptions about how they're going to be, because everyone has the opportunity to change at any given moment. And so he brings that option to everyone. And so therefore holds no grudges, right? Is just open and receives everyone just as they are, right? With nothing from the past. And so it's powerful. And Gurudev, Amar Desai, in this, he shares an example of how he had a disciple, someone that studied with him for a long time and had raved about him, then went out and published some terrible thing about him. And then came back, and he was met. Amar Desai said, I knew that whatever he wrote, whether it was positive when it was positive or whether it was negative when it was negative, reflected only his own internal condition at the time. It had nothing to do with me. It was showing me what was going on with him. And he said, when I let it go, I created an opening for him to also release it. So by just loving this man for who he was, realizing, hey, when you were happy, that was internal. When you were angry and upset, it was internal. Neither one actually had anything to do with me. You projected that onto me. I don't take it personally. I'm not offended. There's nothing to forgive. And that opened up the ability for this man to forgive himself and to see what was really going on. How beautiful is that? To be able to do that for someone. I mean, it's just amazing. It's just absolutely amazing, I think. So, in summary, this is one of the best ways to heal. Don't be reactionary. Just observe things as they are. Remain seated within your own higher consciousness, this witness space. And remember that whatever you focus on, you energize. And so if you focus on that reaction that's intense, you energize that. If you focus on the witnessing presence, you energize that. And so just starting to become consciously aware. And remember, this is like learning to walk. When you were little, or all of you probably have kids or grandkids, when they start walking and they fumble around and they fall and then they come get you and you give them a hug, you don't say oh my God, you failed. What's wrong with you? You should have figured out how to walk by now. No, it's like the failing was part of it. The one step with the teeter and the fall is part of it. So you are going to have reactions, but then realizing that you had the reaction, that's part of it. That's like the step in the fall, right? You're not walking successfully yet. You're learning this path of conscious awareness being built. And so every time, it's not a failure. So don't beat yourself up. This is why most people, like, they just veer off of spiritual development and personal development because they're like, oh, I did it wrong. Oh, there's something wrong with me. Oh, I keep falling down. I keep doing the same thing. I keep getting reactive. No, it's like, if you notice that you were reactive, that's a step in the right direction. It's not a failure. Like, that's success. That's moving in the right way. And you just keep doing that, keep doing that, keep doing that. Okay? And remember, there's nothing to forgive, ever. It's just, this was revealed. This situation revealed this reaction within me, and that is the beauty of it. Okay? So, man, this is fast. I went through that real fast. It's kind of straightforward. I loved this thing. If you don't mind the mind's not a problem. So just remember that, okay? There's a beautiful, Swami Kripalu is Amrita Sai's teacher, and there's a beautiful kind of poem he wrote here at the end. So if you're seated, close your eyes and just receive this. I think it's absolutely beautiful. He says, "My beloved child, break your heart no longer. Each time you judge yourself, you break your own heart. You stop feeding on love, which is the wellspring of your vitality. The time has come, your time to live, to celebrate and see the goodness that you are. You, my child, are divine. You are pure. You are sublimely free. You are God in disguise, and you are always perfectly safe. Do not fight the dark, just turn on the light. Let go and breathe into the goodness that you are." Just so beautiful. It's a good reminder, guys. Maybe read that before you go to bed or when you wake up. We have next chapter 10. I am traveling. Unexpected travel happening. This summer has just been that. So this book, tiniest book, might take us one of the longest to get through. So I think I'm gone for 2 Mondays. So we won't be back for a couple Mondays. August. I think we come back in August 4th, I think it is. So we have some time with this, reflect on this. I want you to apply it. This book club is pointless if you're not actually applying the things that you're learning. So over the next couple of weeks, apply this ability to see your reaction, to not have to forgive, but just to realize the whole thing's an illusion. It's just revealing what's in me. Let's do that so you can actually apply what you're learning. And then we'll reconvene on August 4th for chapter 10. All right, I'll put it in the Telegram chat, and I'll see you then. Have a great week, everybody.